It is a Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. This is the Uganda Catholic Television. Welcome aboard. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch with UCTV News. Now, Rotary Club of Uganda has set an ambitious target to double its collection goal to 4 billion shillings as it launches the Rotary Cancer Run this year. According to the chairman, Uganda Rotary Cancer Program, Stephen Mwanje, he is confident about the completion of the project by 2026. The Rotary Uganda Cancer launch took place this morning at St. Francis Hospital, Zambia.
For the past 13 years, the Lottery Cancer Run has played a pivotal role in the fight against cancer, contributing significantly to the construction of the cancer facilities in Zambia Hospital. This year's run is scheduled for August 25, 2024 at the Kololo grounds under the theme Spread Magic in Every Step. This year aims to double the number of participants from 30,000 to 60,000 participants this year. This will translate to doubling last year's collection to 4 billion shillings, which will go towards the required 13.8 billion shillings for the completion of the radiotherapy center in Zambia Hospital. The chairman Uganda Lottery Cancer Program, Stephen Mwanje, is confident the project will be accomplished by 2026.
What we missed today was having the speaker as our guest of honor at the launch of the Cancer Run for 2024, which will be taking place on the 25th of August this year. The speaker, with all our lead sponsors here, including our Rotary International President's personal representative, Trustee Brenda, they came here to officiate at this function. The speaker gave us a lot of support and pledged 1 billion shillings towards the completion of this center. Because of that support, we are confident that our target of finishing the center by 2026 is on course.
Dr. Andrew Sechitoliko, the CEO of Zambia Hospital, says the increase in participation will help in building the new wing extension of 2 bunkers that will house the 2 NILAC cancer testing and treatment machines to avoid linkage of radiation. It will cost about 6 billion shillings.
The type of cancer treatment offered in this building right now is surgical. We operate the cancers, but we also give medical, which is drugs. What has been lacking is radiotherapy, radiation. And that is the project that you see now going on, which is the construction of what we call bunkers. Bunkers are special buildings with about a wall of about 1.3 meters thick, so that there is no leakage of radiation to the environment. And so that construction is quite expensive. We think just the construction alone will take about 6 billion, but we need 2 machines because for every 1 million citizens, you need at least 1 machine. Uganda has 2 machines. We think that when we contribute 2 machines, we'll add to alleviating the suffering of people that need this care.
The run has evolved into a significant event, attracting numbers from across Uganda and even participants from around the world. Centenary Bank affirms its commitment to engage in activities that uplift the communities within which it operates.
If the community is sick, so will our customers be sick. So we take it as priority to see that our community is healthy, our community is educated, our community is in a good position to live, productive lives. So that is why Centenary Bank agreed, and partnered with Rotary 12 years ago, and we've been contributing year in, year out. Actually, our contribution is way beyond 2 billion shillings as we speak now. And this year in particular, we've contributed 300 million.
This year, the event will span 2 days, with August 24th being for the health camp and the highlight on the 25th of August being for the run. Nora Osende, UCTV News.
In a significant shift from traditional child care institutions to family-based care, Eastern Africa is leading a movement towards integrating children into natural family environments to make family the best place for development of a child to full capacity. This initiative, endorsed by the Association of Member Episcopal Conferences of Eastern Africa, AMESEA, is making strides in Uganda. Here's a closer look at this transformative approach.
Since 2016, the Catholic Care for Children Uganda, in collaboration with its regional counterparts, have successfully reunited over 1,400 children with their families, challenging the traditional resilience on constitutional care. This shift not only recognizes the importance of family bond, but also addresses the darker issues of abuse within institutions. As Amasia and its partners forge ahead with these care reforms, in collaboration with the Uganda Episcopal Conference, Delphine Mwana from the Institute of Daughters of the Heart of Mary from Kenya says that there is need for a joint effort with the church through small Christian communities to see this a success.
Let's go back to the families where these children are coming from, where these problems are arising, to see how as a church we can help our families to be able to take care of the children, and instead of just sitting and waiting to be brought in children from their families. And therefore, together with the Messiah, we want to use the church structure, that is the small Christian communities, through the diocese, through the conferences that we have, our conference from different countries in the region, and the MSA as the bigger body, and the Association of Women Religious, both men and women, in our different conferences, to see that we do something for our families, for our children.
While sharing experiences on their journey towards response to childcare reforms, Sister Ifreja Masika, the Director of Catholic Care for Children in Uganda, shared that the Association of Religious in Uganda has managed to reintegrate children into families and community-based care through proper preparation and needs assessment of the child, which may include socio-psycho support.
The warden or the administrator at the baby's home has to go down to the family of the child, which will be reintegrated, and with the help of the local council chairperson, they assess the stability of the family members. The family itself economically, whether they are able to sustain the needs of the child, and not only this one child, but also the other children in the family. And where there is need, they offer a hand, and for this particular case, the family has been prepared. It has been supported with some finances for income generating activity. We also don't look at economic gains, but we also look at the psychosocial support. Sometimes some families need some counseling, they need some guidance. So all this support is given to a family before a child is reintegrated. It's not a matter of thinking today we are taking a child back and we go. There is preparation prior and even post-placement. Even when a child has been placed in a family, still it's the mandate of the baby's home to make sure they make follow-ups so that they can ensure the child is fully or successfully integrated.
According to her, the admission of a child into a children's home can only be done through government structure, as she takes us through the steps through which a child is admitted to a childcare institution.
And it starts with the family member. They show their inability to take care of the child, and now they get the consent or the referral note from the local council chairperson. The local council chairperson takes that letter to the probation office at the district. So it is the probation officer who admits the child into the child care institution. Actually, in no way can a warden or an administrator admit a child into the child care institution. So it all goes back from the family, the community, and then at the district.
Children raised in institutional settings such as orphanages or other childcare institutions can face numerous challenges and developmental issues compared to those raised in family-based environments. Some of the main issues that can arise include lack of a stable nurturing environment that can lead to various behavior issues in children from institutions. This, as she says, the 4 pillars that are taught by the Catholic Church in regard to social issues.
We chose St. Philomena Babies Home for several reasons. One, this is a child care institution where the administrator and social worker have worked tirelessly in reintegrating children into family or community care. For instance, 3 years back, they had over 54 children, but as we talk, they have only 5. So it means they are doing well as far as reintegrating children into families. And so we felt that there would be a model to other child care institutions in learning how to take children back to families. Secondly, we chose St. Peter Clever Parish. This is a parish where small Christian community are thriving. And as we talk of children going back to the community, we want to place these children in the care or in the hands of small Christian community members who would see children thrive further after being in child care institutions. So St. Peter Clever is doing very well in this area of small Christian community, and we know when the children go back to families, their faith will be nurtured further through these small Christian communities.
Recognizing these issues, many religions and countries are shifting towards family-based care models, which aim to provide more nurturing and supporting environment for children's overall development. These models focus on either keeping biological families together and supported or finding foster or adopted families who can provide care and stability that children need to thrive. Nora Osende for UCTV News.
And now the Ministry of Education and Sports is set to launch a learning through play strategy where learners will be educated during play activities. This has been unveiled by the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, while briefing the press at the Uganda Media Center today.
According to the State Minister for Primary Education, Kaduchu, the minister has considered the learning through play approach because of the cognitive, psychological, social and emotional contribution to the growth of children. As an effort to actualize this, Uganda is set to join the global community to celebrate the very first National Play Day on the 30th of April 2020 at Kole Independence Grounds.
This is in an effort to recognize play as a fundamental approach to children's learning and well-being. The theme for the ever first celebration is introducing the concept of play and learn through play. The event will be celebrated at Kololo International Ground in Kampala, beginning from 8:30 a.m. till 3:30 p.m.
From the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF Uganda, the Early Childhood Development Specialist, Nada Ilat, appreciated the importance of playing in the education of children.
The power of play can truly unlock a child's full potential and support their development in all areas of their life, including health, language, learning, life skills, psychosocial well-being for future success, so for now and for later. The power of play extends beyond this. Play can heal. It has the power to heal, to support children to recover from trauma. It builds resilience, which we all need to succeed in life and to learn. Failure is part of life, and through failure we actually build resilience. So it is important to allow children opportunities to play, to explore, to learn through the process of both accomplishment and failure. I know that's sometimes hard to hear.
The project director for Plan International, Jimmy Ivan Zobo, pledged the organization to support the government and the ministry in the course of implementing the learning through play strategy.
And as a plan, we cherish and prioritize children education, and we pledge to continue supporting and align behind the strategies and priorities of the Ministry of Education and Sports as regarding to the education of our children, and pledging that is one of the approach that government is saying is not to go even at school level. We commit that we are going to stand with the government to support our children learns through play.
Meanwhile, the minister issued a stern warning to the school proprietors and administrators to desist from training and coaching children during holidays as the academic term comes to an end on Friday.
Our rules are clear. We did not have provision in the Education Act, in the regulations, in the rules that permits teaching during holidays and coaching. Time and again we pass this communication and some school owners do not abide by. But I think it is something that the conscience first of all should be stopped there. How do you continue to teach a child without a break? It's just only a 3 weeks holidays and you do not allow this child to rest. You want the child to continue learning. Some of them are doing it simply because they want money from parents. Others really want the children to pass only in first grade, academic excellence, and yet we are saying a child should be trained in a holistic manner. So, it is true that schools continue to teach during holidays, to coach during holidays, but I think we are calling upon the district education team. There's a lot of laxity in the education team in the district, the DEOs, the school inspectors, and some of these are happening, most of them in the districts, yet the school inspectors are right there next to the schools. So we are calling upon them, we will not get tired, for them to be vigorous, to keep watch, to ensure that really there is no coaching. The penalties are clear.
Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.
Youths from different youth and civil society organizations have today held a voluntary national review consultation at Chambogo University aimed at getting views from different youths regarding sustainable development goals. According to Richard Bagumatinkasimire, the Secretary General of the United Nations Association of Uganda, the voluntary national review is one of the means to measure the progress towards the attainment of the SDGs.
So what we are trying to do today is to gather youth representatives from different parts of the country, from different institutions of learning, to come here and tell us from their own perspectives, from their own experiences, how has Uganda done towards implementing the global development agenda, which is aligned to our national development plan, and that is the sustainable development goals. And we want to take this into the national report together with the Office of the Prime Minister and the UN. One of the things that we are trying to do is to work together with all the stakeholders, the development partners, the development financiers, the multilateral and bilateral donors, the civil society organizations, so that we can accelerate, we can add power, we can add fuel to all the actions we need to do towards attaining.
However, there is still much room to have more awareness about what exactly the SDGs are, to have more youth on board. Because in most cases, you find that the youth make up the largest population or percentage in Uganda, but they are not the most seen people in the activities that are being done. And so there is still a bit of a gap in terms of creating a platform for more youth to be part and to engage in SDGs and achieving them. Achieving Agenda 2030 is not just 2030 and we stop, because these are sustainable development goals. So it means that as we continue to work towards achieving them, sustainability means that it can be maintained over a long period of time. And so these are things that need to continue to be done over and over and over again.
The challenge of finances, because these countries are meant to do this work. All this work has a lot of challenges, and all the things that happen here have to have money involved. So one of the issues is finances, and one of the recommendations I will give to that very issue is that Uganda needs to understand and find ways of having innovative financing, because we cannot always rely on donors, we cannot always rely on the outside world to come and finance our work here. We need to understand as a country that
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has embarked on an inspection mission to examine the work environments under which workers operate, with an intention of disciplining errant employers who violate the workers' rights. This has been revealed by the Minister Betty Amongi while briefing journalists about the forthcoming Labour Day celebrations next month.
This comes at a time when the country is in preparations of joining the whole world to celebrate the International Labour Day on the 1st of May, under the theme Improving Access to Labour Justice, a prerequisite for increased productivity. Among other activities the Ministry intends to undertake in the spirit of commemorating the day is carrying out an inspection to various work sites across the country and examine the environment under which workers operate.
We have an expo that is also taking place. We are going to undertake workplace inspection. So I'm calling upon the public, if you are aware of any dangerous workplace that you want us to inspect, or a workplace that the employers are abusing the rights of Ugandans, I request you to give us the tip, because from tomorrow onwards we will be undertaking inspection to ensure that dangerous places and workplaces are inspected and remedies are given to address those issues.
Among has highlighted on the gazetted procedure through which workers can access social justice whenever they acknowledge infringement of their rights by their employers.
This year's theme is very important because it resonates with the issue of access to labor justice. How do we access labor justice? In Uganda, labor justice access starts from labor officers. When you have a problem in respect to labor, you go to the labor officers. When the labor officers do not solve the problem, you are allowed to go to the commissioner in charge of labor. If that doesn't work, you can go to court, and that's why we have the industrial court. So this year is about labor justice. If your employer is not paying your wages, if your employer is not giving you health insurance, if your employer is not giving you contract, those are issues that violate the rights of a worker. And those are issues that should enable someone to access justice in the context of fair, decent work environment.
As she emphasized the government's commitment towards establishing a safe and healthy working environment, she invited the public to participate in the celebration of the International Labour Day at Mukabura Grounds in Fort Portal City.
We are also going to be engaged in tree planting initiative and awareness campaigns on workers' rights, and so I want to pledge Ministry's commitment and Government of Uganda's commitment to building safer and healthier work environment, and I urge all Uganda to take part in the celebration, commemoration, and recognizing in your own ways on that day workers' contribution to the development of our economy.
Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.
Now, the National Physical Development Plan has decried the lack of harmonized coordination among the authorities who issue approvals and construction licenses to illegal constructions in Uganda. The chairperson, National Physical Planning Board, Amanda Ngabirano, attributed the haphazard development of fuel stations along the road reserves to lack of collective responsibility among the responsible officers.
Matter of non-compliance. We are overwhelmed in terms of enforcement and ensuring that there is compliance. We are relying on the local governments to ensure that there is compliance. We are also relying on Uganda Police Forces and the Directorate of Anti-Corruption to help us in this, because it is overwhelming and it's a matter of non-compliance from the developer side, but also from the regulator side. So the only solution in that case is, if such petrol stations don't have approvals, they should be demolished. Their demolition should be ordered. That's what should happen.
Coming up next is Today in History. Thank you very much for watching Uctv News. We are going to take a break, and when we return, it will be time for the Rome Reports.
Uctv, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage dirty money
with a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching Uctv, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Toboka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the Request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasesegat Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
Uctv, good news for all.
And finally, as we draw closer to the celebration of the Uganda Matters next month, or rather after next month, June 3rd, we keep on bringing you a feature in the Uganda Matters feature from Uctv. And today we are going to look at Saint Adolphe Mukasa Ludigo.
Saint Adolphus Mukasa Ludigo. Ludigo was a Mtoro, born in Musazi, village in Mieri, Obufunjo locality in Mwenje, county of Toro. His father was Bamwe Sekera and his mother Kiyote. The Baganda raiders captured him and took him to King Mutesa I's palace. At the palace, Ludigo was in charge of the king's gardens, where the pages were supposed to work. The name Ludigo was a nickname because he resembled a chief of Bunyoro called Ludigo. At the palace, Ludigo was surprised and very much impressed by the kindness and the good behavior of the Catholic pages. Thus, he started having the Catholic instructions under Joseph Mukasa, who also introduced him to the Catholic missionaries for further instructions. When the missionaries fled to Tanganyika in 1882, Ludigo went to Kagwa's home that had turned into a new mission instead of Lubya. On finding out that the number of converts was growing every day and the people had to eat, Ludigo went to the kitchen to help Kagwa's wife and other volunteers. He left the instructions to Andrew Kagwa for most of the time. Ludigo was baptized very soon, Monday night, November 16th, 1885, and got the name Adolphus. This was a day that followed the killing of their master, Joseph Mukasa. Adolphus anticipated his arrest and death, so he was very happy and put on his best as if he was preparing for a party. Over this nice tunic, he wore his beautiful antelope skin, which was for special occasions. He was arrested with other Christians on Wednesday morning and taken to Namugongo, where he was burnt to death on Ascension Day, Thursday, June 3rd, 1886, at the age of 24. Adolphus is the patron of farmers and herdsmen, etc.
And that's all we had for you this evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this newscast tonight. I'm Sunday Gloria Aboch. Have the best of the evening.